Hello everyone, welcome to day 5 of 28 Days of Love. I hope you are enjoying everything so far. I'm definitely enjoying it. I am really enjoying the emails and the feedback that is coming in, especially to hear from some of you that certain parts of this are helpful in dealing with what you're going through, your own situations. And I'm so happy that you feel comfortable enough and safe enough to share your story, and I admire that and I thank you, and I hope you keep me updated, and I hope you find the rest of the information coming forward will be helpful as well. And so we're going to start to tie all this stuff together and build upon it. So today we're going to talk about fear, and we touched on this yesterday. We talked about our thoughts and how we need to be careful to make sure that our thoughts aren't spending too much time in the past or in the future, and trying to make that shift to be in the now and to be present. We also talked about the two places in which we can view or live life, and that is from a place of love or from a place of fear. And from that place of love is where we want to spend as much time as possible. But there are times when we are living life from that place of fear. And if you're there right now, you're not alone. And that's why we're all here, so that we can expand our consciousness and our awareness so that we can recognize what's going on and recognize the need to shift and to bring ourselves back to this place of love. And so I'm going to be including a link to another video that will hopefully give you a deeper understanding of fear and how, for the most part, it really doesn't exist. We create it. And it's hard to wrap your head around sometimes, especially if this is your first time really kind of starting to think about this and explore it. But if you watch the videos and you keep focusing on putting this all together, it will make sense, I promise, and it'll start to really help you. The thing with fear that I think that I've noticed, that I've learned, is a lot of times we recognize a certain fear that we have, or this thing that's creating a disturbance within us, let's call it that. But a lot of times it's a deeper issue or something completely different that is actually creating that disturbance. And sometimes it's just these surface situations that are giving us that little poke, that trigger that's kind of digging down to that thing that's been kind of buried down and has been tucked away within for a while, and that we've maybe even forgotten about. And so I guess what I'm getting at is, for example, things like, we might have a fear of, our relationship ending, but really maybe the fear is about being alone, not necessarily about the relationship ending. And, other disturbances, for example, I'll use an example that was from a training that I'd done in the past, where an example of a man who has this inner turmoil, this disturbance from his current boss, his employer. Like he just cannot stand his boss. And when we start to dig down and explore our fears and these disturbances, we can get to the root cause, and that's what we want to do. So in this example with the man who does not like his boss, he creates this disturbance, and you start to ask, okay, well, what is it about the boss that's creating this disturbance? And the guy thinks about it for a moment and says, well, nothing I ever do is good enough. Okay, so when else in life did you feel like this? And sometimes it takes a bit to think back, but maybe the man recognizes that, well, when I was a child, nothing was good enough for my dad. So then we start to recognize that, okay, the disturbance isn't really the boss, it is the issue or the experience that was had with the dad. And the boss is just a trigger that's kind of pulling that thing up. so that we have this opportunity to address it and to deal with it and release it and move out of that place from that disturbance. I hope that makes sense. If not, as we continue to move through and build upon this, I think it will. Again, I'm trying to just give you little bits and pieces so that we can put it all together slowly without overwhelming you and having you to commit to big time frames every single day. So I'm going to include that video that will take you a little bit deeper into understanding fear. And the other thing I will include is another book recommendation. I hope you like books. Again, you take what you want from this and implement what feels good or what you feel you can commit to. My purpose or goal is to give you as much as possible, and you do with it what you will. But so today's book that I'm recommending is a book by Osho, and it's called Fear, Understanding and Accepting Life's Uncertainties. And it's a really good, quick, easy read, but it really helps you to understand fear and you know, where it comes from and how to deal with it and move through it. And it does also give a little bit of information about meditation in a way to help with that as well. But it is a great read that really helps you to take a different perspective in looking at fear, and I think it'll be quite beneficial. So on top of that, the little task or the homework that I will give for you is to grab a notepad and a pen, or if you're using a journal through this, you can do that. And just sit somewhere quietly for, 5 or 10 minutes, connect at the heart, maybe close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and start to ask yourself, okay, what am I afraid of? What's really creating disturbance in my life? Make that list. And then I want you to take it one step further and ask more questions about each of those. So for example, if you wrote down, I have a fear of my relationship with my partner ending, then I want you to ask yourself, okay, what is the worst thing that could happen if my relationship with my partner ends? Write down your answer and then ask yourself again, what is the worst thing if that happened? And what that will do is it'll help you dig down to what is the real disturbance or the real fear that is creating this within. Sorry, I have hiccups. So that you can, address it and start to peel those layers off of things that we've just been piling on over the years. And we can start to free ourselves and really be in that place of now without carrying all that extra baggage. So I hope that makes sense. Again, I'll put explanations into the email, and we'll just keep building upon this each day. Remember, go into this new week with some positive thoughts. Continue to shift into that place of love. Be conscious of being grateful. Notice where your thoughts are going. All of this stuff. Keep practicing and building on this, and that running list of affirmations, repeat them every day, a couple times a day if you can, and just start to notice any changes and maybe make some notes. And again, give me some feedback. If you have questions, let me know. Keep sharing this with people that may be interested, and let's have a fabulous week, and I will see you tomorrow.